Houston Texans traveling up to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football in Week 7 in the NFL on Monday, October 20th, 2025. My name is Steve, and we get your best bets video for this game. We're going to have 2 player props and a spread pick that I think are great value bets for this Texans versus Seahawks game. Let's lock in and get a sweep here on Monday Night Football.
Well, my presence isn't real. It's another bet, one like this is scale. It's straight fire, all my bets straight from. You're in the house, that cab made now. Straight fire.
As always, my friends, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support as always. Let's lock in and have a great Week 7 in the NFL. I'm recording this video early, so I don't have any results for you from Sunday. Hopefully, we're having a killer Sunday, and we're making you guys some loot, and we can carry that over into Monday and have some greatness, obviously, on Monday as well. We've had a really good run here at the channel, guys. Thursday night, we had a huge night. We made about 10 units in the NFL because we cashed a plus 3,500 parlay that we put a quarter unit on. It was pretty electric. Definitely has been pretty great as far as the parlays go of late. We've cashed plus 3,500 parlays in back-to-back weeks, which is pretty wild on Thursday Night Football. That was pretty crazy. We cashed a plus 2,500 in the NFL last Sunday. So obviously, like I said, guys, it's been terrific. I've had a lot of fun making these plays and interacting with all you guys, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. It is a pleasure to do these videos as always, and like I said, hopefully we can make some money and keep things rolling in the NFL. I feel like we're starting to get on a little bit of a run now. We're starting to find our energy. We're starting to find our winning swagger, and definitely love that. We're locking that in for the NBA as well. We got the NBA season starting this week, so make sure you guys are locked in for that. Keep in mind, I'm dropping 2 NBA videos on Monday night around 8 or 9 o'clock. So just watch for those videos to drop. And we'll have some NBA picks for both of those, first couple games that are being played on Tuesday night. Probably going to be like half unit plays, stuff like that. Nothing too crazy to open the season. Obviously, we don't want to find ourselves in an early hole. But definitely something to wet the whistle and to get things rolling here in the NBA as well. But first, we got to focus on the NFL. We got this Texans-Seahawks game. We got CJ Stroud up against Sam Darnold. We got a huge Monday night showdown. So let's get after it. This best bets video. Let's talk about our best bets for this game. Let's get right into our picks. At number 1, we are going with the Seattle Seahawks. -3 on the spread here versus the Houston Texans. -110 odds on DraftKings. I've said so many times this is one of my favorite plays of the week, but I've got so many of them this week that I really like. Seattle's another one here. First of all, to win by a field goal, this is almost a pick'em spot, which is weird to me because Seattle to me is a much superior team at this point in the season. The only thing that I could think is Seattle struggles recently at home over the last year or so. They have struggled at home, which is so weird, because they have one of the best home fields in all of football. So I think that's one of those things that starts to correct itself over time. I don't think it's real. I think at some point Seattle gets back to being a dominant home team, and I think you'll see that here versus the Texans on Monday night. I fully expect that. Seattle's been one of the most league's explosive offenses this season. They are first in yards per play from scrimmage, so I love seeing that. Texans just 19th in yards per play. Their offense has been very so-so with CJ Stroud this year. They have not really found their rhythm offensively. I just have a lot more trust right now in the Seattle offense coming into this one here. Both defenses among the NFL's best in yards per play. The Seahawks 6th in yards per play. Texans 5th in yards per play. So these defenses are very comparable for sure. I definitely would. I definitely love both of these defenses, but if I'm taking 2 even defenses, right, that I think are even, and then 2 offenses, one that I think is much more explosive in Seattle, and they're playing at home, why wouldn't I lean Seattle here, guys? I think it's just kind of weird, but it is what it is. Like I said, Hawks playing at home. They've struggled since last year. Like I said, this is something that should really start to turn around. I don't see any reason why Seattle should struggle at home. They got, like I said, one of the best home field advantages in all of football. And like I said, holistically as a team, I have a lot more trust right now in Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Kenneth Walker, The pieces that they got here in Seattle, I really like. I really love Sam Darnold right now, and what he's doing right now. Looking a lot like last year's regular season quarterback there with Minnesota, where he led them to either 14-3 or 15-2. But he absolutely killed it last year during the regular season. And he looks a lot like that guy. Very comfortable in the pocket. Really has a great connection with Smith-Njigba, who's having a huge season. Is going to probably set some records this season. He's clearing his receiving line is in the high 80s. And he's clearing that at a high clip this year. I believe he's 83% to his receiving line, which is like 85.5. So it just gives you an idea of how explosive he's been this season. And I think that'll continue here. Texans do have a little bit of a thing where they can give up some big plays in the secondary. So I think that's going to be a thing here. I think Smith-Njigba will be able to take advantage. And the Seahawks team in general at home, I think will feel off the home crowd on Monday night and get a big win. So love it there for number 1 pick, guys. Going Seattle Seahawks -3 on the spread here versus the Houston Texans. -110 odds here on DraftKings. Kane at number 2, to a lot of what we just said, we're taking Jackson Smith-Njigba over 25.5 yard longest reception here for the Seattle Seahawks. -122 odds here on FanDuel. Risking a unit here. He's 6 for 6 this season to this line. So obviously there's a lot here to like for Smith-Njigba. He's averaging 46.3 longest reception per game. So he is having a lot of big plays in the pass game. And this really isn't that crazy for a receiver of his type. Like I said, he's 6 for 6 this season. You can't do any better than that. And the Texans, like I said, like I mentioned in our previous pick, they actually ranked 23rd in longest reception allowed to wide receivers. They've allowed some big plays down the field. Zay Flowers, the last game, 57-yard reception. Calvin Ridley, 22, which cleared his over. Brian Thomas, number 1 wide receiver for the Jaguars, 46. So this defense could definitely give up some big receptions. And I think Smith-Njigba with a 100% hit rate at home, like I said, versus a secondary that sometimes does break down on the back end. I think can really have a good time there back there. Like I said, he's one of the league's most explosive players right now going. I think in this game he's bound to break at least one for 30 plus. I like this line all the way up to 30 plus. I honestly really do. I think he's going to clear that number. I think he's going to have a huge day. Like I said, take your best line. A lot of other books have this at so FanDuel has this at 25.5, like I said, as I'm recording this. But some other books have this at 27.5, which I still love that as well. I think he's going to clear this. I think he's going to clear, like I said, I like it all the way up to 30. I would say 29.5. I would take it all the way up to there. I'd feel pretty comfortable with that. So I do love it there, guys. For number 2 pick, we're going Jackson Smith-Njigba over 25.5 yard longest reception here for the Seattle Seahawks. -122 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and finally at number 3, we got a play that holds a lot of value, guys. We got a Nico Collins anytime touchdown scorer here for the Houston Texans. We got +155 odds here on Fanatics. Risking a unit here on this one. So Nico has a touchdown reception in 3 of the last 4 games, which you like seeing that, obviously. Seahawks here, 22nd in receiving touchdowns allowed to wide receivers. So when they do get in the red area, I think this is a spot where Nico with his big body can go up and get one. And I do think the Seahawks win the game and they cover. But I do think Houston's going to score a couple touchdowns. I'm not saying Houston's going to get shut out. So I think when Houston scores on one of their couple touchdowns, I think Nico really will be one of those guys that gets a touchdown. And I love the value on him. And if you want to look at it this way as well, let's say Houston breaks out offensively, right? This is kind of like a little bit of insurance for our Seahawks spread bet, if you want to call it that. But I'm very comfortable still with both. I think Seattle wins the game. They cover the -3. And I also do think Nico will get a touchdown at some point in this game. Both things can certainly be true here. Like I said, that spread is pretty much a pick-up spread. I'm definitely confident the Seahawks are going to put up enough points here to win at home. But like I said, I think Nico will find himself in the end zone. Number 1 wide receivers versus the Seahawks this season have caught a touchdown. Marvin Harrison Jr. of the Cardinals, Emeka Egbuka of the Bucks, and DK Metcalf of the Steelers. So number 1 wide receivers have had success here versus the Seahawks. I think we can see that once again here as well. Like I said, I think they will score, right? Texans are going to get a couple touchdowns here. Like I said, I think Nico will very likely be one of those guys. So, love it there, guys. For number 3 pick, we got Nico Collins. Anytime touchdown scorer here for the Houston Texans. We're going plus 155 odds here on Fanatics. All right, guys, that is it for our picks. If you guys enjoyed the content, as always, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support. We have a huge week in sports, guys, coming up. The NBA is starting. We got our Monday Night Football live stream running for the Bucks-Lions game, so come join us for that. We're going to have a lot of fun just watching the game together, game audio, watch party. I can't actually show the game, but we'll have a little watch party going on and some game audio. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's usually a great time at those, and it's usually a pretty good turnout. So if you guys want to sweat the bets out with us, it's a great way to do that. Live with me, screaming at the camera. It's a good time. So, as always, though, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for putting up with my quirkiness. It's just the way I am. It's the way God made me. But, like I said, appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Lock in this week, guys. We're making some money. It's happening. Let's get it. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.